Welcome back. Hi. It is RCGP here in Austria.
Austria. Is that near Austria?
We've come on in a fluster. That's because we're about to get to the climax of qualifying.
Yeah, I love a good climax.
We know. The story, 3 different winners.
Yes.
That's not uncommon.
No.
It's actually hard to win twice in a row.
It is, but more importantly, suddenly the resurgence of Marco Barufalo. Pole man, nothing. It's all dried out. Go Marco!
Dust works for him.
It does. Should we see it?
Take a look.
Oh, and it was a hesitant start there from McBride, but he still gets away okay, and there's a massive carnage that involves, I think, Quad Green and the 33 of Hoffer. They're both out of it, so it's currently Neumann in second. It's leading, and Ogden now in third, so it is going to be leading away is McBride. So McBride leads second. I think that's Neumann. I think it probably is Neumann. Yep, third is Ogden, fourth is Boots, fifth is Canas. And Barufalo having a bit of a row and has stopped and maybe really can't afford to be too aggressive for these first. Ongaro is up to about seventh, by the way, already. So already that's been kind of made up and lost 4 or 5 times. They take the corner, so then that's a much better sweep into the triple there. But look, and that's upside down, so that's right out. But into Neumann. Neumann takes the lead, and Neumann now ahead. Ogden second. Barufalo climbs over Canas to get into third. So finally, as we get this loose surface that Barufalo qualified on yesterday, we're seeing Marco in the Beach RC 69 car begin to move forward. So 1, 2, 3. Where is Ongaro? Still seventh, but we have now the leader, Jorn Neumann, second place. And it's Barufalo. Barufo's really found this with this drier surface, which is exactly how he TQ'd yesterday. Now we're seeing the true Marco Barufalo, the Italian, most wild man, but incredibly fast driver. And now he's going to try and catch back up to Neumann, and he's got him straight within 2 corners. He's got him, Barufalo. The dry conditions mean the speed's back. He's looking at the inside there, going over the metal plates. You know, just a bigger climb there to come back towards before he turn up the inside and straight in the lead there. So Barufalo's gone straight back up and through, but he's made a little mistake. And Neumann's got a bit of a change the lead again. So Barufalo in the lead there for about 27 metres before he just got up on 2 wheels. Neumann came back up the inside. They come to the hot race corner. Ogden now catching up, and also as Barufalo gets back up the inside of Neumann again. Ogden perhaps realised he needs to get Neumann in. He does. Oh, they're coming together. Second and third is where the battle's at. Barufalo now, all he has to do is turn right, hop over 2 corners and turn left, and he will win round 3 of the fantastic Barufalo. It's dry. It's Marco.
McBride, Ongaro, Barufalo, but with there being no drop scores, that means there's some more stories beneath that, isn't there, Nick?
There is. That's why I'm looking at another sheet of paper. Yeah. It's a big hobby here. Yeah. Who do you think is actually leading after 3 rounds? One of those winners, surely.
Yeah, Ongaro?
No. Oh. Currently it's Juan Carlos Canas, who's had a third, fourth and second, and he's 4 points ahead. 4, that's that many fingers. 4 points ahead of Ongaro, which means Ongaro has to finish 4 places ahead of him, otherwise Canas will take pole. But also, Battier has the same number of points. Marco Barufalo just behind and going fast. Runafo, who I thought had a nightmares running 5th. It's all to play for. But what is the most important thing for these cars to go fast?
Tyres.
Tyres. Shall we hear about the tyres?
Let's go to Nicola Morone and find out about his hot race brand of tyres.
It's a known fact that in any form of motorsport, the most important single component for any car, any bike, is the tyre. It's the only thing that's in contact with the road. And to talk about hot race tyres, it's that man himself, Nicola Morone from Hot Race. Nicola, give us a brief idea of the technology that goes into an off-road tyre.
The most important thing for me are 2. One, the structure, and the second most important thing is, of course, the rubber, the compound. The rubber is a mixing of 31 small parts. So for example, you have to put 1.2 grams inside, and if you have a mistake of 0.01, the tire completely no work or can work better. You never know.
A racing wheel and tyre is not just the rubber itself. You've got a tyre that's cut in half. Can you explain the various parts?
Yeah, okay. We have, of course, the rubber, the foam, and grip. We have foam inside. The foam is like our pressure, our tire pressure. Foam is, I think, the 30% of tire. Is 30% of tire. When you change just the foam, you change everything.
So looking at those 6 tyres you've got in front of you, what is the thought behind the various tread designs and patterns?
We have a 7-parter that are more or less different from them. For example, we have these two. This is Amazonia, that is our most popular tire. I made this one. This is Big Amazonia, because it's exactly the same. But we have the pin that are bigger than standard Amazonia, and also the profile, if you see, is much bigger, this one, but with small side. The side is lower. So this is for high grip, super high grip track.
Do you also have different compounds for the same design?
Yes. Normally we have 4 different compounds, from super soft, soft, medium, and hard.
Can you take any cues from full-size motorsport, or is the rubber and the compounds completely different for RC?
We use one rubber that is similar to Formula 1 rubber, because we have one company that helps us. One of my main goals is to win the big races. So I am, first of all, I have a lot of passion for this. So I work not night and day, but more or less just for this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for this.
So that's the story of the tyres, but the story of the day is this young man. Juan Carlos, you've not won any races, but you've been very consistent and you're way ahead now in qualifying.
Yes, today was a really good day. I'm comfortable with the car. It's easy to drive, not fast, really fast, but easy to drive, and was a good quality.
And how are you going to approach this final round, because you're at the back?
Yes, I calm and to lucky.
Juan Carlos Canas, thank you very much. And finally we have Max. Max, you were beating the boss and then you blew it, but luckily you're starting in pole.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was my fault, to be honest. The last one, Lee, who started behind me, he jumped on top of me in a triple, and I had to flame out. So, but after that, we put the engine on and got to turn some laps and had the fastest lap of everyone.
So the car's good then, starting in front?
Yeah, well, you know what I humped for.
Do you prefer it when it's dusty or when it's a bit drier? Wetter, dry makes no sense, wetter.
Well, I thought I would prefer it wet, but actually I think I'm now preferring it dry.
Okay, Max, we're holding everyone up. Thank you very much indeed. So, that's Max starting last. Juan Carlos Canas, who's obviously suddenly in pole as such for the overall championship. But what's the actual grid, Matt?
I'll tell you, Nick. I'll tell you what the grid is. It is behind Max Mort. We're going to have Patrick Hoffer. In 3rd position, we're going to have Elliot Boots. 4th position, Davide Ongaro. 5th, Miko Widmeyer. 6th, Lee Martin. 7th, Joseph Quagrain. 8th, David Ronefalk. 9th, Robert Battier. 10th, Cole Ogden. 11th, Jorn Neumann. And then these are the guys who finished in 1st, 2nd and 3rd. So finishing in 3rd position in the last race was Carl McBride, but he'll be on 12th. 2nd was Juan Carlos Canas, and we've just seen he is streaming ahead with his strategy of just keeping out of trouble. And on pole will be Marco Barufalo, car number 14.
Thank you, Matt. That is the grid for the final round of qualifying for RCGP. Those of you joining us now, just so you know that the actual finals themselves will be off at 4:30. It's currently 2:30, so wherever you are in the world, if you add 2 hours, that's when the first of the 2 main finals on this round 3. Tomorrow we have the single big long one. Today we have 2 shorter ones. That's when it'll be going off. Cars are rotating? Circulating around, well, probably are rotating as well actually. Circulating around the track. So Max Mort will be on pole, as Matt said. Patrick Hoffer, Elliot Booth. Elliot's really not had a very good qualification, to be honest. Despite being very fast in practice, he's not really had the thing hooked up, or he's been knocked off. So they are all trying to get into the, when we actually get the two-legged finals, both legs start with the same grid. So you don't, so in the final, if you win the first final, you don't start at the back of the second final. So you are on the two-leg final. We're currently travelling around with Ongaro and Max Mort, just turning laps as the clock wends its way down. Minute and 32 of warm-up. Nine and 3/4 laps for this race. We haven't got the actual race distance for the finals yet. It'll either be 18 and 3/4 laps or 19 and 3/4 laps. But, and that'll have a fuel stop in it, so that'll make it slightly more interesting. Lots of fuel stop, just fuel stop. At the top end of the track there. Let you enjoy the marvellous sound of the nitro engine. 3.5cc of pure power. And if you enjoyed the chat we had with Nicola Moroni from Hot Race, there is some good news. That was a very, very cut down version of the chat we had, which was nearly 15 minutes. We'll be putting the whole interview up on the RCGP YouTube and Facebook page sometime next week. And you get a huge number of insights about tyre development and how and what sort of tyres you should use at different sort of circuits, different temperatures. We don't really have time to put a 15-minute item out, so we cut it down to the kernels of knowledge. But Nicola has some great stuff to say, and you'll be able to see the full-length version of that interview on the RCGP website and Facebook page sometime next week. The cars now have returned to the pits. One car being held in the air in the pits. So they're walking out now. We'll see Max Mort take the pole position. As he was saying, he had a problem in the last race, and so he reckoned he had the speed. So could Max max out? I think he's got a kind of a limit to where he can get to. Currently, Max is running in 10th overall with a score of 28 points. It's going to be completely beyond my maths to work out people all the way back downwards, but I'll see what I can do. But the key thing really is that Juan Carlos Canas will get pole unless Ongaro finishes 4 places above him. And Ongaro, though, is starting 9 places in front of him. So actually, Canas has to get 5 places closer, 6 places closer. I think that if they get the same number of points, then Ongaro will win because he's got to win. So it's Mort, Hoffer, Boots, Ongaro, Vidmar, Martin, Quagrain, Ronefalk, Battle, Ogden, Neumann, McBride, and Canas and Buruffalo. Oh, no one's second. So Hoffer hasn't taken part, so we've lost Hoffer before the start. And also Ronefalk hasn't started either. So Hoffer and Ronefalk both have actually DNQ'd and stuff. No, Hoffer didn't start, but Ronefalk, the car just died on the line. So Ronefalk today goes from worst to worst. And in the lead, though, is Max Mort, driving quite nicely. Oh, no, he's not saying that. He dropped immediately down. So our leader now is David Ongaro. So Ongaro now leads after accidents for various other drivers. In second place is Cole Ogden. In third place is Neumann. In fourth place it's Vidmar. Fifth place is Battle. Sixth place is Quagreen. Seventh is Moore. Eighth is Canas. And we only, I think, have 11 runners. Then we have 12 runners. We have lost 2 cars. Hoffer didn't start and Ronefalk didn't start. Which is the first time I can remember any car not starting, 2 not starting. So, up at the front, it is Ongaro and Ogden. Ongaro not as super quick on the loose surface as he was on the wetter surface, but he's still good enough to, when people just fall over in front of him, get past them. So he's slightly stretching the lead. So there we are, Ongaro, the Italian, yellow wing. Ogden stumbling slightly behind. Vidmar now in third. Fourth place, it's Battle. 5th, Quad Green. 6th now is Canas. So Canas is coming up. Now, this is the interesting thing, is that it's more about Canas's progress at the end of the day than what happens with Ongaro, who's miles and miles ahead. So Ongaro already leading by a long distance. Let's drop back to the car that's going around the hairpin now. The blue and, well, there's 2 blue cars. It's Barufalo, who's elbowed out Canas as they come around the patio corner now. So the 2 cars hopping up. So it's the blue and the red car and the blue silver machine. They are the cars who are trying to move forward, but it's more about what Canas, and Canas actually almost flew over Barufalo in the air then. Yeah, we're not in the right place here. We need to, so it's the blue and red car coming up the big hole now. And over start finish now, just going past Quad Green. So Quad Green, Barufalo, and Canas, as Ongaro lays down more lead laps. So this is what it is with Barufalo. We should be looking at Canas as the 3rd of those cars, because he is going to be the 2nd of those cars. He's got past Barufalo now and moves himself back up to 6th place. 5th place, he needs to get to 4th, and then he will still be on for pole position. So he's got to get past Quad Green and Vidmeyer, because Vidmeyer's dropped to 5th, so already he's right up the backside. Now, interestingly, catching him up, though, is the McBride car. So Canas has seen himself, he hasn't got the fastest car. Still at the lead, by the way, as Ongaro, in 2nd, about a 3rd of the way through this race. But it is comeback, well, this is drive back through the field is what's going to count. So JQ able to hold Canas at bay. It's the green car from Joseph Quad Green, the 100 machine. With Finn, and he's got Canas, the young Spaniard we spoke to before the race, who, and that could be the end of it. That could actually be the end of the run, because not the world's greatest bit of marshalling there, to be honest. Marshalling the car that crashed 2nd before him, and I think that is probably going to be the end of the day for Canas, but let's see. He had to push, he's going to be dropping down now somewhere in the region of 10th. So Ongaro now looking very good for pole. Apple in 3rd, but 7 seconds off. Ongaro leading by 2 from Ogden. Canas ahead of him has the car of Elliott Boots, who's really not had a break all day, and Barufalo, who's trying to get through the field. Lap 5 being turned now. Oddly, the position that Canas needs is only about 4 seconds ahead of him, or 3 seconds ahead of him. But obviously got to get there via about 30 cars, and that could be quite difficult, unless it's because they are staying all 4 wheels down. I think it's like the track actually, it's a little bit easier to drive when it's dusty. Slightly quicker, and I don't think you get the car digging as it was doing perhaps in some of the wetter sections. Canas now at the back of Barufalo. Don't worry if you Ongaro fans, he's winning easily. Ogden is putting a good performance in for 2nd. It's going to, I would say, lift him up to probably 5th on the grid. So we're still with Canas, who's just coming out of the hole now. And trying round. This is the story, really. The story isn't Ongaro just leading by miles. It's more about, that's the other story, really, is why Hoffer and Ronefeld didn't start. So they all pile in. Now, hang on. I just saw Ongaro make a very small mistake off camera, but he's still miles ahead. He's making a very big mistake. So 2 laps to go. Ogden's made a big mistake, and that will probably, no, he's got away with it. And Canas may have, no, he hadn't put his flame in there, so that's not much good. Okay, let's find our leader, which is Ongaro. He's going around the speedy hairpin now on the patio and driving up with the orange wing. Just about to go over the infinity jump. He's going to turn around onto the triple now. So Ongaro, not one of his little master classes here, he's managed to play a bigger gap on Ogden. So not only has Ongaro secured a win in this round, which is perhaps not that surprising, with a very fast lap time, a 38.5 in there, so he's found some speed. He's also managed to see off Canas's charge, which has fallen massive by the wayside. Canas running dead last at the moment. So on Garmin, there's a possibility that Canas actually will fall behind Battle and possibly, not Barufalo, but behind Battle. Ronefeld's going to drop down a long way. So he's quite a mixed up group when we get there, because there's been some bad scores, a couple of drivers who actually needed a good score in this one. This is the last lap. So Ongaro's 2 corners to go to claim TQ. And Ongaro TQs again. So that's 3 rounds of RCGP and 3 TQs for Ongaro. It's like harder this time than before. Ogden picks up second. Battle picks up third. Vidmeyer, good 4th for Vidmeyer. 5th from Quad Green. 6th is the car of McBride. 7th is Barufalo, and Neumann will come in 8th. So, and there we go.
So just confirmation then, the results are as follows. In position number 1, David Ongaro. Position number 2, Cole Ogden. And in 3, Robert Battle. In position number 4, Mika Widmeyer. 5, Joseph Quagrain. 6, Carl McBride. 7, Marco Barufalo. In position number 8, Jorn Newman. In 9 was Lee Martin. 10 was Elliot Boots. 11, Juan Carlos Canas. 12, Max Mort. And David Ronnefolk and Hoffer did not run. We're just waiting to go over to Nick very shortly.
Okay. Hello everybody. Well, happy smiling Davide Ongaro. Well, that was well done. Pole, 3 rounds, 3 poles.
Yeah, I'm really happy because I put a new tire and the car works better than with the old tire. And then I saw Juan Carlos made a mistake, maybe on the 1st or 2nd lap, so I just drive good without mistakes and really happy.
Well, you're putting a couple of really quick laps as well, so you must be feeling the track now.
Yeah, now I find a good line on track. I also do 38.5, so the car is working great and happy.
Davide, congratulations. Well, I'm going to make it backhand because of the key. So, Ongaro claims his 3rd pole, but of course there's now still 2 finals to go before we actually find out who is going to claim round 3 here in Austria. That first race kicks off in an hour and 45 minutes. But until then, of course, we have RC2. But that was the end of qualifying for round 3 here in Fairing in Austria for RCGP.